Welcome back everyone to another second stimulus package and second stimulus check update. Today is Sunday, November 29th, and in this video what we're going to be doing is covering what can Joe Biden do as president when it does come to stimulus legislation. What authority does he have? What power does he have? As we know in this country, the president is the highest office in the nation, but the president only does have so much power. There's checks and balances, right? There's checks and balances between the three branches of government. So what can Joe Biden do as president? So in this video, I'm going to be revealing 4 specific actions that President Biden, when he does become the president on January 20th, and he is sworn into office, 4 actions that he could take in order to stimulate this economy. One thing Joe Biden can do as president, he still has the power to actually smash that like button. If you just go ahead and give the video a big thumbs up, smash the like button, I would greatly appreciate it. I do videos now every single solitary day on this channel, no exceptions, no excuses. So if you have been enjoying my content, you've been getting value out of it, go ahead and give the video a big thumbs up. Also, if you haven't already, do hit that big red subscribe button. Be sure you are a subscriber. I post videos every single solitary day. You don't want to miss a beat. You don't want to miss a beat. The news is always changing and developing, and this is your one-stop shop to learn everything from when it comes to business to finance, investing, entrepreneurship, mindset, strategy, and tips and tricks. And of course, I also do these stimulus check and stimulus package updates. Also hit that notification bell as well. That will just notify you every single time I do make a new one. That way you're first line to see the video before anyone else gets to it. So in a best case scenario, in a perfect world, we would see stimulus legislation passed before Christmas, ideally. And because Congress is going to be adjourning for the holidays, they get a nice big recess into the new year. And then they finally take office again. This is the lame duck session. So ideally, we would see stimulus being passed before Christmas. But that's not going to happen. The days of November are already over, and the holidays are right around the corner, and we're basically at a massive gridlock right now. No progress being made, very little negotiations, if any, and so it's just not going to happen. So, with that being said, Joe Biden is going to be taking office, and he's going to be inaugurated before we know it. What can he do? Number 1, President-elect Biden, soon to be President Biden, does have a few tools at his disposal to address the nation's most pressing needs. But the problem is that Congress mostly has the authority when it does come to stimulus and unemployment benefits. See, they have the sole ability to raise revenue and use money based on the federal budget, such as signing stimulus checks and passing larger unemployment benefits at the federal level. But in limited circumstances, the President of the United States can sign executive orders or executive memos in order to implement some of the actions that we would like to see. A President Biden could essentially create temporary rules, temporary executive memos or orders that would allow us to see perhaps unemployment benefits, but not stimulus checks. The president cannot sign off on stimulus checks. And President Trump did exactly this. He signed an executive order or executive memo back in August when we were waiting so patiently for Congress to pass more stimulus legislation. Trump did this back in August, and he allowed $300 temporarily in federal unemployment benefits, along with many other executive orders. Now, what we do know is Biden's vision for another stimulus package. We do have some of the preliminary details on it. We know he does want to see a second stimulus check in there, that's for sure. And he also does want to extend unemployment benefits. However, we don't know exactly how much, and it's also going to be up to Congress of what that amount could ultimately be. So yes, Biden could temporarily extend and expand unemployment benefits. That's exactly what President Trump did. However, the power to spend money solely rests in the Congress. So President Biden would have to find another new source of funding in order to send out these unemployment benefits. So what did President Trump do back in August? How did he get those funds? Well, Trump actually went to FEMA, and the funds came from FEMA. That was a source of his funding in order to extend those unemployment benefits. It actually took billions, tens of billions of dollars out of the FEMA funding, and it was a bit controversial, especially as it was in the midst of a hurricane season. Was it really the best time to start taking funds out of FEMA? But he ultimately did, and $300 has long since run out dry. Number 2. So what else could Biden do in the midst of this pandemic as president? Well, he could actually raise the minimum wage with federal contractors. So Biden's campaign strongly fought on $15 an hour. That was the Biden-Kamala Harris vision to raise the minimum wage. Right now it's $7.25. It hasn't been raised since 2009. Wages have pretty much stagnated for several years now. Biden could in fact raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour based on certain rules and loopholes. So yes, you would need congressional support in order to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour, but you could get there part way. And this is actually according to Heidi Scherholtz, who's a senior economist and the director of policy at the Economic Policy Institute. They actually say that the hourly boost could affect the pay of 5 million workers, estimated, and it could potentially help a smaller group of Americans as opposed to widespread all across the board. And the third thing that President Biden can do is suspend student loan payments without interest. President Trump's deferment of student loan payments is set to expire on December 31st. So right before the new year starts. Not only does the student loan deferment expire on December 31st, but also the other COVID-19 relief protections. So Biden could follow in the footsteps of President Trump and further extend that deferment. Biden would defer these payments based on what he has said in the past and his vision for a stimulus package. He could defer these payments all the way through 2021, so students would not have to make any payments probably until mid-2021. Along with the short-term fix, Biden could also look at completely canceling out student loans as well. Biden has a vision of forgiving student loans in a plan he laid out called the Emergency Action Plan to Save the Economy. And this is where he actually proposed canceling a minimum of $10,000 for federal student loans. That means if you have a student loan, you could potentially cancel up to $10,000 of it if it is on a federal level, which most student loans are. And under Biden's vision, that would be completely canceled out and you would not have to pay it. $10,000 of it. What are your thoughts on his plans when it does come to student loans? Do you think it's not enough? Do you think we should totally cancel out all student debt? Or do you think you took out the loan, you should pay it, and you should be responsible? What are your thoughts when it does come to student loans? Let's keep the conversation going down below in the comments. And the fourth action that President Biden can take to bolster this economy is go ahead and halt evictions once more. Under President Trump's moratorium, evictions on unpaid rent are completely halted until December 31st. So if Congress does not extend that moratorium, Biden could actually use executive action to halt evictions. This Biden executive order would keep landlords from evicting their tenants from not paying rent during this pandemic. Now, the only clause is that a tenant can be evicted for other reasons, for other than not paying their rent. The Trump administration actually set this precedent. What the Trump administration did is they exercised and invoked this rare law exercised by the CDC, Centers for Disease Control, aimed at limiting the spread of the disease by keeping people in their homes and out of homeless shelters or from crossing state lines. So they actually did it through the CDC and their recommendations. The eviction moratorium extension is likely to be seen in a Biden stimulus plan. That is something that he could implement fairly easily. However, the other aforementioned things that Biden can do would be a little bit tough, and it will depend on the Georgia Senate runoff races. In the last stimulus update, I completely covered what's so important about these races and why it could really affect what the next piece of legislation does look like and whether or not you could even get a stimulus check at all. If you haven't seen that video yet, the link will be down below in the description. I do recommend seeing that video. But that was 4 things that Biden can do when he does get sworn into office on January 20th. What else would you like to see under Biden's plan? What else do you think is missing from the 4 things that I mentioned? What would you like to see in the next stimulus package? Let us know down below in the comments. But if you did enjoy this video, if you got value out of it, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, smash the like button, would greatly appreciate it. And as always, if you're not subscribed yet, do consider hitting that big red button, the subscribe button. I post videos every single solitary day, no exceptions, no excuses. Also go ahead and hit that notification bell as well. That way you're notified every single time I do make a new video. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one.